Greetings to all melanated people all around the world who are followers of the message of William Branham, and also to my brothers and sisters in Texas Assembly in Trinidad and Tobago and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's really a joy and a pleasure to be bringing a message of liberation and emancipation to you, whereby I am teaching you that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. The Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. The Bible, or the Hebrew language, was not a language that you explore with the breath. It was a language, a symbology, or a mystical language. And those who put the symbols in writing, they were putting the experiences, or what they would have experienced, in the form of personification. So when you think you're reading about persons that existed thousands of years ago, it is only personification of your own human imagination, which is the creator in man. That's the reason why the Bible tells you all things was made by him, and without him there isn't anything made that was made. It is speaking about your own human imagining. Everything in this world was false thought. Everything in this world was false imagined. So the Bible is based upon the mind of man, man's thinking. So when it is speaking of mind states or different mind state that you will go to, you thinking it is speaking about a person. And the reason why I can tell you this, because I have experienced all of these mind states. For example, when I was 17 years of age, I experienced my Joseph experience, where I was given the coat of many colors, and found it to be the rainbow. That's the reason why I can bring this message to you and explain to you why William Branham have to preach a message called The Child. And my brother and my sisters, right now, you're facing a trial, because the very message of William Branham was against limitlessness. Was against limitedness. Not limitless, because we are limitless beings. Or spirit, having a human experience. He was teaching you not to become limited in your thinking. Not to become settled down for a church life, for forms and rituals and programs and greetings and shaking our hands. He was teaching you against false identity, or holding towards false identity. But those of you who did not understand the message of symbology went and built yourself your own organized religion with your own interpretation. Now you're on trial. And in that message, the child, William Branham was basically showing you the principle of sowing and reaping, that by your fruit you shall be known. And that it is beyond having a certain belief, but it's producing the life. Producing the evidence. So at that point in time, people were still dwelling on believing in a Christ outside of themselves. And whatever you believe is what will become your reality. So they were experiencing healing in the physical, yet later on they're going to die. Because that's where the people at that time was placing their energy. Because they did not understand at the time that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal. Neither is it secular history. But because the entire Bible is a prophecy and it is parabolic, whenever there is a messenger bringing a message, the real true message normally does be hidden until someone will come later and go through the experience and bring the message to people. That's the reason why I had to meet William Branham in Dreamland and shook his hand. And for me to accomplish that, I had to go ahead of him. Because if you're following him, everywhere that he rests down his foot, it comes into foliage. It blooms. So you get lost in a wilderness if you're following him. So the message of William Branham was a message that needed to be decoded. And so those who run without a message, today they are in trial. And my brother and my sisters in Orthodox Assembly, when they start going live on the internet and do not understand and know that they will find themselves in a Mount Carmel showdown, which Mount Carmel is the vineyard of God, and the vineyard of God is speaking about your mind. Because the Garden of Eden, where all of the trees are, is speaking of your mind. Where you cultivate all your thoughts and sow all your thoughts. And when I start unleashing on them, they disable chat. They want to play mass and afraid powder. Yet they want to rebuke every other religion and every denomination when they are no better. So my brothers and my sisters, you cannot check the laws of the universe, and William Branham taught you that. And I've written a book called Can't Be Proven Wrong. And I'm encouraging you to get my books on Amazon and put what I'm saying to the test. When I say to you that when you understand that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, that you can create your reality consciously. You can attract whatever you want to attract with in this life. That is your desire. And you can do it consciously. People who do not do it consciously, they normally turn around and give thanks or praises to a Jesus Christ who they believe that existed 1,000 years ago, because they are creating their reality unconsciously, not knowingly. Because there's only one power, and everyone is using the power, and you can use the power consciously or unconsciously. For example, the man who kill, the man who steal, and the man who put on his clothes and go to so-called church, or the man who go behind a pulpit and preach, they are both using the same power. That's the reason why the Bible tells you in Deuteronomy 32 and 39, I am God and there is no other. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. And in Isaiah 45, 5-7, he says, I am God and there is no other also. He said, I create the darkness and I create the light. I create good and I create evil. Don't you know good and evil for a start in the mind as a thought? Don't you know it's your own imagining? Don't you know it is God in the earth playing all the parts? That's the reason why it is by grace and not by works. And it's only until you discover your true self that you will understand what is love, that God is love and love is God. And you cannot know God unless you're God. Don't you know that the Bible is your own biography? That's the reason why it must be interpreted psychologically. It's all about you. And everything that you see outside of you, it is actually within you. My brother and my sisters, if you look at a computer, and a computer is just a replica of you, it has a CPU, which is central processing unit, where it has stores all the memory. It's the same thing with you. You have an Akashic record in you, and you've been suffering from amnesia. That's the reason why when you were 1 year old, 2 months old, and so on, 1 week old, you didn't even know you existed. And everything you know today, it was taught to you. And you never question it. That's why I'm saying, my brother, my sister, if you want to come to your true identity or true self-realization, you have to put your own self on trial by questioning your belief system. And that is why if you ain't question your belief system will turn around and question you. And that is why I'm saying to you that you're on trial. That's the reason why I'm saying, my brother and my sisters, for the last time, the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. It is not literal. It is not secular history. And Galatians 4:24 tell you, it's all an allegory. And if the Bible is literal, then you would have to do everything that Christ have done. But I can show you how you can do it psychologically and create your reality consciously. And my brother and my sisters, the reason why many have not been able to unfold these messages is because they have never experienced St. John chapter 3. But I've experienced St. John chapter 3, and I can tell you, I'll show you that the greatest mystery upon the face of this earth can never be known intellectually. It must be experienced, and when you experience it, you will experience the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. That's the reason why Malachi 4 tells you the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And it is speaking about the S-U-N as if it's speaking about a person. It is only a personification. And my brothers and sisters, without the S-U-N, there's no life. And without your own human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. Everything was first a thought and everything was first imagined. And for you to disagree with me, it has to first be a thought. For you to ignore me, it has to first be a thought. Anything you do, it has to first be a thought. Because most of all, you all have missed the law of mentalism. So with that being said, I want to give you the sign of Matthew 6:22, where it says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And God is light. And you've been told to be the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men that they may behold your wisdom or your works and glorify the God that they will have seen in you. So with that, Mr. I want to say peace, love you, I'm out.